Kenei was a Kenyan soul. Justice must be followed through. It was not too long ago that we were in this county when Musando had also been murdered. To date, we don't know who murdered Musando. So unless there is swift action by the necessary authorities so that we bring proper closure to these things, then we'll continue living in fear that we don't know who is next.
And then you go to the funeral and you say that all these things are fake. And you are burying somebody who has died, who has been killed. You are burying somebody who has been killed. How can killing be a fake thing? I support what you are saying. Killing cannot be a fake thing. Ruto entered into this whole thing without understanding that the law in Kenya had changed. There's nobody above the law in this country. There is nobody. Nobody is above the law. And it is not in Kenya where somebody in the rank of the deputy president is being investigated. And I hope that it actually is being investigated.
Well, so far there's no confirmation that there are any investigations against the deputy president. All we know is that there is the murder investigation as well as the 39 billion alleged fake gun scandal. But now, as we conclude this conversation, obviously the past few months, or is it years, have seen a lot of deterioration in terms of the political culture of this country, or is it expansion?
Yeah.
And it has obviously hurt service delivery. You rarely hear of what the government is doing now, the Big Four agenda, apart from now coronavirus, which is pretty big. How do we as Kenyans, because we're still expecting service to be delivered to us at an affordable cost, how do you ensure that the politics of, let me call them the big boys, can continue, but at the same time, the Kenyans who went to vote and pay taxes get the service that is due to them?
Mm-hmm. It is tragic at the moment that there's a lot of engagement, to the extent that civil servants are also engaging in politics. I know of cases of where, of course, there is a transition, and we have a president that is leaving, and you will expect all this movement. But again, it's happened so big that the common mwananchi is really suffering. We don't hear anymore of what is happening in the country. The Big Four has collapsed. We are now talking about BBI, corruption cases, and all these other things seem to have come to a halt. People believe that a section of a group of a political class are being targeted for this particular reason, and there is almost halt in the deliverance of promises that were made by the Jubilee government, which is very unfair.
And speaking of promises, Honorable Keynan, how does the government deliver a referendum while still making sure that they deliver the Big Four agenda, Vision 2030, and devolution still?
I think, it's one thing to have a desired, stated objective. It's one thing also to be very pragmatic and have a really implementable agenda. The challenge right now and the biggest casualty in all these competing and conflicting political discourse actually is the economy and our image. If you look at, realistically speaking, right now our economy is on its knees. I think it's a reality, everybody knows what is happening right now. It's simply because what we are selling right now is propaganda. What we are selling is hate politics. What we are selling is a lot of, statements that is loaded with ethnic chauvinism, regionalism, tribalism, political mudslinging. In all this has a serious effect on our image as a premier republic. And I want to hammer this. Without serious economic development, without expanding our economy, without a predictable economic growth that will ameliorate the serious unemployment affecting the youth, then anything else will be music.
So how does government deliver a referendum this year?
Of course, the referendum is one thing. That's a political tool.
Right.
The referendum is a political tool. What is an agreement? It's not a big thing. By the way, it's not a big thing because there are two ways: parliamentary initiative or public initiative. It's two ways. Once there's a political settlement, once there's consensus, it's not a big thing. But the issue is right now, Kenyans are really suffering. There's a lot of unemployment, and Kenyans are not getting what they ought to get. Where I come from right now, and I'm so pained as a leader, is almost all our schools are closed. All our schools are closed because of poor decision making, because of confused policy decisions from Teacher Service Commission, because of insecurity, because of profiling. All our schools are closed. And there's something that is supposed to be, Northern Kenya occupies 76% of the landmass of the Republic of Kenya. As we speak right now, last year alone, we have had close to 4,000 E's. You can count 4,000 E's. E's. Individuals who did not get even something that you can. 4,000 E's. Right now, all the schools are closed. There is unemployment. There is underemployment. What happens? What will they do? These are things that really, even me as a leader, and these things that happen. The schools were closed. Simply not because of. Actually, I will say not because of insecurity. Simply because somebody somewhere does not understand the dynamics. When you withdraw teachers and say, I am withdrawing you from that part of Kenya and welcome back that part and welcome to back to Kenya, what are you trying to say? Are you saying Northern Kenya is not part of Kenya? Are you saying those children that I represent did not deserve decent education? These are things that really, and we are failing. We are failing.
So whose failure is it? Because
it is the failure of the decision makers. Look at this. How can one or two individuals at the Teacher Service Commission make decisions that they have not consulted Office of the President, they have not consulted the leadership, they have not consulted Ministry of Education, and when you go there, the only thing that you meet is rudeness and contempt. These are things that we must address. And me as a leader right now, and I believe that is, please allow me on this, because this is so emotive.
I wanted to conclude because we know, like you said, politics will always be there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the bad politics.
How will they be fixed?
Allow me. This is because of the bad politics. This is because of irrational public decision making. Why will somebody just assume that Northern Kenya is not part of Kenya and withdraw teachers? Security is there.
You're
security challenges there.
What's the solution?
The solution is for every individual to be held accountable so that we adhere to the rule of law. So that every individual accepts that we are accountable to the people of Kenya through this constitution. The individuals right now who are above the law. Right. The individuals who don't want to reason with anybody. The individuals who utter all sorts of statements. If I were today, the first thing that we'll have done as part of the solution in Northern Kenya is to provide security where there are challenges and ensure that those innocent children and parents have teachers for their children. That is missing. How will you accept them to be and to be proud
to be
Kenyans? These are things that actually we need to address. These are things, and that's why we have asked for a meeting with the leadership of the country. We got it. We address, and I hope and pray that this one man or one woman decision that comes from TSC that has affected our children, that has affected our region, will come to an end. Because as leadership, as a region, we really feel that this thing is so unfairly being implemented by individuals who are not accountable, invisible individuals who do not want to listen to anybody else, and yet my conscience is over 400 kilometers away from the border. I want you to listen to this. But simply because of a perception, it's like something that has happened in Mombasa. You close all the schools in Nairobi. All the teachers have left. They have been forced, actually. They have been asked to leave. These are things that we must address so that every Kenyan proudly feels they are part and parcel of the Republic of Kenya. And I want to close with this.
Okay.
Finally. The Kenyan Republic comprises of 43 tribes. None of these tribes has been invited to be a citizen. All of us are stakeholders. And therefore, the same appreciation that goes to another community must also go to the community that lives in Northern Kenya. And this is the thing that we are really asking for. It's not a favor. These are the things that we are asking for. These are the things that we are saying we must also be accorded. And my party short is even you as members of the Fourth Estate.
Right.
Please appeal to the instincts of some of these key decision makers that Northern Kenya is part and parcel of the Republic of Kenya. We are not about to go away. And we deserve respect and decency and the way our issues are handled.
Honorable Keynan, they have heard you loud and clear. I wish you had more time to allow you a chance to say something, Honorable Nyoro, but let's just take a look at the feedback that viewers have been sending on 2242 as well as on Twitter, Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag being daybreak. Engineer Lazaro, you said that the DPA should just go and share what he knows with the relevant authorities.
All right, still on Twitter. Let's see what else you have. Isaac, you say consequences of the isolation of Raila supporters through BBI will see Uhuru's backyard give Ruto a running mate. These investigations, scandals and investigations and scams are staged to fool the blind followers of Baba. Mark this tweet.
Whoa, okay. Lazaro again, many questions than answers. How did questionable guests meet in the second highest office in the land without the knowledge of the office holder or interference from the ever alert intelligence service, who are being referred as system?
The system. Steve, you say if only Kenei's death probe could be done without politics, then we'd be sure of the investigation results. Once investigating officers have been compromised, as it appears, then likely the late may not rest in peace. Meanwhile, rest in peace, Suleiman Dori.
All right, so my apologies, Honorable Nyoro, that we are practically out of time, but thank you so much for coming from Kiharu constituency, Nelson Koech from Belgut constituency, and Adan Keynan, Dr. Adan Keynan, for coming from Eldas constituency, for making time for us. And up next is Sporty Monday. Willis Raburu and his panelists will be looking at the action over the weekend, some sad news, but all the same, that will be as it is. We'll be back in a moment.